Have you ever wondered what hidden mistakes could quietly put older adults at risk when living alone? As we grow older, many of us crave freedom and comfort in our own private space. But what most people don't realize is that the smallest habits, the ones we barely notice, can make life heavier, less safe, and even more lonely than it has to be. The truth is certain careless choices and little oversights can slowly eat away at your health, independence, and peace of mind. In this video, I'm going to share 8 silent mistakes you absolutely need to avoid if you or someone you love is living alone in later years. These aren't the same recycled tips you've heard 100 times. These are the often overlooked details that can mean the difference between living with confidence and struggling with unnecessary challenges. From physical safety to emotional well-being, each point shines a light on how simple awareness and preparation can protect not only your independence, but also your happiness. And make sure to stay with me until the very end, because the final tip might surprise you. It's something most older adults never consider, yet it often turns out to be the most powerful key to staying safe, strong, and fulfilled while living alone. So let's dive right in. Mistake number 1, ignoring home safety adjustments. This is one of the most crucial yet overlooked issues. A simple slip in the bathroom, a dim hallway, or even an unlocked door can have much bigger consequences when no one is around to help. Living alone means preparation isn't optional, it's essential. Installing grab bars near the shower using non-slip mats or just adding brighter lights along the stairs can dramatically lower risks that too many seniors shrug off. And no, this isn't about turning your home into a hospital. It's about creating an environment where you can move confidently with steady steps, well-lit pathways, and doors that lock securely. That sense of safety doesn't just protect your body, it also strengthens your independence and peace of mind every single day. When you feel safe and protected in your own home, everything changes, you breathe easier, your sleep becomes deeper, and your daily confidence naturally grows stronger. But if there's always that nagging thought in the back of your mind, what if I fall? Or what if someone comes in uninvited? That quiet worry can slowly chip away at your peace and stability. Take the story of Mr. Harris, a 78-year-old who had lived in the same house for nearly half a century. He believed he knew every inch of his home like the back of his hand. Yet one night on his way to the kitchen, he tripped in a dim hallway. That single misstep left him with a fractured hip, several weeks confined to a hospital bed, and months of physical therapy before he could walk steadily again. Only after this painful experience did he realize that something as simple as brighter lighting and safer flooring could have spared him from so much suffering. The truth is, home safety adjustments are not a sign of weakness. They are a sign of wisdom. By eliminating unnecessary risks, you give yourself the freedom to enjoy your home with confidence instead of constant caution. That secure foundation is what allows older adults to live independently with courage rather than fear. Mistake number 2, neglecting regular health checkups. This is another trap many seniors fall into: postponing doctor's visits, skipping routine tests, or brushing off small symptoms with the hope they'll simply disappear. But when you live alone, there's no one beside you to point out subtle changes: a slight limp in your step, a shift in your mood, or a cough that lingers a little too long. What begins as a tiny ache, a short spell of dizziness, or some unusual fatigue can quietly grow into a serious condition if ignored. And because there's no immediate feedback from someone else, problems often remain hidden until they're much harder and more painful to solve. Older adults who stay proactive, scheduling checkups, and paying attention to warning signs are far more likely to live longer, healthier, and more independent lives. Doctors and psychologists emphasize again and again, prevention is always easier, cheaper, and far less painful than dealing with a full-blown emergency. Keeping track of your health doesn't have to be complicated. Something as simple as maintaining a calendar for doctor's visits, setting up reminders on your phone, or asking a neighbor or family member to check in after a procedure can make all the difference. Prioritizing your health is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of wisdom. Think about Linda, a 72-year-old who ignored her steadily rising blood pressure because most of the time she felt fine. One morning while preparing breakfast, she suddenly fainted and woke up in the hospital. That frightening experience changed everything. From that point on, Linda committed to regular doctor visits. With just a few small adjustments in her medication and lifestyle, she regained her stability and peace of mind. Looking back, she often says that living alone taught her one powerful lesson: you have to be twice as diligent when it comes to health. Your well-being is the very foundation of your independence. By listening to your body, honoring your appointments, and treating even minor concerns as important, you give yourself the strongest chance of enjoying freedom and vitality in your own home for years to come. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights helpful, drop a comment with the number 2 below so I'll know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you'll never miss future videos. Your support means the world and helps us continue creating content that informs and inspires. Now let's keep going. Mistake number 3, overlooking meal planning and nutrition. When you live alone, eating can easily become an afterthought. Many older adults fall into the habit of grabbing frozen dinners, canned soups, or sometimes skipping meals altogether because cooking for one feels like too much effort. But over time, this quiet neglect takes a toll. Poor nutrition slowly drains your strength, reduces your energy, and increases your vulnerability to illness. Food isn't just about filling your stomach with calories, it's about fueling your body with quality nourishment. Seniors who rely heavily on processed or packaged foods often miss out on critical nutrients that keep the muscles strong, the bones resilient, and the brain sharp. A diet lacking in protein, fresh vegetables, and healthy fats can lead to frailty, slower recovery from sickness, and even heightened feelings of fatigue or depression. Experts in both psychology and nutrition agree on one thing: the way you eat affects far more than just your physical health. A balanced diet fuels not only your body, but also your mind and emotions. Eating well can lift your mood, sharpen your memory, and give you the motivation to stay active and connected. On the flip side, poor nutrition often leads to a downward spiral. Less energy, more fatigue, and a stronger tendency to withdraw from others, making life alone feel even heavier. Consider the story of Margaret, an 81-year-old widow who confessed that most mornings she survived on nothing more than toast and coffee. At first, she believed it didn't matter. But during a checkup, her doctor pointed out she had lost a noticeable amount of weight and her energy was slipping away. With some simple adjustments, adding eggs, vegetables, and lean meats into her meals, her vitality returned. Suddenly, she found herself eager to step outside, meet friends, and enjoy her days again. That small change in food completely transformed her outlook on life. Proper nutrition isn't about complicated recipes or gourmet cooking. It's about respecting yourself enough to provide your body with what it needs every single day. Even something as simple as cooking once and portioning meals for the week, or stocking up on easy but healthy staples like fruits, nuts, and whole grains can give you strength, dignity, and the confidence to thrive independently without feeling worn down or dependent on others. Mistake number 4, pulling away from social connections. One of the most dangerous habits older adults can fall into while living alone is slowly shutting the world out. Loneliness rarely arrives with a bang. It sneaks in quietly through days spent in silence, through unanswered phone calls, or by postponing visits because you don't feel up to it. Over time, this creeping isolation can harm not just your emotional well-being, but also your physical health, memory, and overall sense of purpose. Staying socially engaged doesn't mean you need a huge circle of friends or a calendar packed with events. What truly matters is maintaining a steady rhythm of connection that keeps both your heart and mind alive. Research consistently shows that older adults who nurture meaningful relationships live longer, experience fewer health issues, and even bounce back faster when illness strikes. The reason is simple: human connection is medicine. Conversations, laughter, and shared experiences reduce stress, protect against depression, and keep your thinking sharp. Psychologists remind us that relationships are not just nice to have, they are essential for resilience and joy. Living alone should never mean living in isolation. Staying socially connected means being intentional about the ties you keep. Something as simple as a weekly lunch with a friend, attending a local community event, or making regular phone calls to family members can lift your spirits far more than you might expect. Take Harold, a 75-year-old who had slipped into a lonely routine of endless television and quiet evenings by himself. At first, he thought he was fine until his daughter encouraged him to join a local community group. There he met people his age who shared his lifelong passion for music. That small step rekindled his joy and gave him something exciting to look forward to every single week. Harold often says that rediscovering companionship felt like reclaiming a piece of himself he had forgotten long ago. Avoiding isolation is ultimately about choosing life, choosing connection, and choosing joy, even in small, consistent doses. The conversations you have, the friendships you nurture, and the laughter you share act like powerful shields protecting you from the emptiness that sometimes shadows life alone. If you're still here watching and finding these insights valuable, type the number 4 in the comments, so I'll know you're with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button, then tap the bell so you won't miss future videos. Your support keeps us going and allows us to keep creating content that informs, empowers, and inspires. Now let's move forward. Mistake number 5, letting clutter and hidden hazards pile up. One of the most overlooked dangers for older adults living alone, allowing clutter to quietly take over the home. At first, it might just be a stack of newspapers by the door, a pair of shoes left in the hallway, or an electrical cord stretched across the living room floor. But over time, these small obstacles become hidden traps. For many seniors, the most serious setbacks don't come from illness, they come from falls. And often those falls are caused by something that could have been prevented with just a little attention. Keeping a tidy, hazard-free living space isn't about being spotless or overly neat. It's about protecting your independence. Because one unexpected trip, one stumble, could lead to injuries that take away the very freedom you've worked so hard to preserve. Clearing pathways, organizing your home, and removing unnecessary clutter isn't just about cleaning. It's an act of self-care that strengthens your ability to live on your own terms. Experts on aging often remind us that clutter isn't only physical. It also weighs heavily on the mind. A crowded, disorganized home can quietly increase stress, stir up anxiety, and create a constant undercurrent of unease. On the other hand, a tidy, orderly environment promotes calmness, clearer thinking, and even a sense of pride. The way you maintain your living space becomes a direct reflection of how you value and care for yourself. Take the story of Evelyn, an 80-year-old who loved holding on to every little memory from her past. Over the years, her home filled with boxes, stacks, and piles of things she rarely touched. One afternoon, on her way to the kitchen, she tripped over a stack and broke her wrist. During her recovery, her children stepped in to help her sort, organize, and clear the space. Later, Evelyn admitted that not only did her home feel safer, but the openness also gave her a refreshing sense of peace she hadn't felt in decades. Avoiding clutter is far more than housekeeping. It's about creating a safe, supportive environment that gives you room to breathe, move, and live confidently. Every clear step you take in your home is also a step toward preserving your independence. Mistake number 6, mismanaging medications. Another silent but serious risk for older adults living alone is failing to handle medications properly. When you live by yourself, there's no one nearby to remind you of the correct dosage, to notice a skipped pill, or to catch if you've accidentally taken something twice. At first, small mistakes with medication might not seem like a big deal. But over time, those little errors can build up, leading to dangerous side effects, sudden illnesses, or even emergency hospital visits. This is especially concerning because many seniors take multiple prescriptions daily, and mixing them incorrectly or missing doses can impact everything from blood pressure to memory function. It's not uncommon for someone to feel weak, dizzy, or mentally foggy without realizing that the real culprit is an inconsistency in how they're taking their medicine. Health experts emphasize again and again, taking your medications consistently and correctly is just as important as the prescriptions themselves. Using a pill organizer, setting reminders on your phone, or even asking your pharmacist to help simplify your daily routine are practical tools that can protect your health. These aren't signs of dependency, they're tools of empowerment. They give you structure, clarity, and most importantly, control. Take the story of Samuel, a 76-year-old who often found himself unsure whether he had already taken his morning pills. Sometimes he skipped them entirely. Other times, out of fear, he doubled the dose just to be safe. The result? Constant fatigue, dizziness, and an overwhelming sense of instability. After speaking with his doctor, Samuel started using a weekly pill organizer and kept a simple checklist on his refrigerator. Almost immediately, he regained his balance, his energy, and his peace of mind. He often describes it as if a heavy weight had finally been lifted off his shoulders. Avoiding medication mistakes is one of the smartest ways to protect both your health and your independence. By keeping a clear, reliable system, You shield yourself from silent risks that could otherwise chip away at the life you've worked so hard to maintain on your own. If you're still watching and finding value in these insights, type the number 6 in the comments so I'll know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Then turn on the bell so you never miss future videos. Your support means everything and allows us to continue creating content designed to inform and inspire you. Now let's move on. Mistake number 7, overlooking financial discipline. When living alone, one of the most dangerous traps older adults can fall into is neglecting their financial habits. Without a partner or family member nearby to double-check small missteps like forgetting to pay a bill on time, clicking on a suspicious email, or overspending, without realizing it can add up quickly. These little lapses not only put a strain on your savings, but if left unchecked, can also threaten your independence. Financial discipline isn't just about money. It's about protecting your security, your dignity, and your freedom to live life on your own terms. Simple practices such as setting up automatic bill payments, reviewing bank statements regularly, and staying cautious of too good to be true offers can help safeguard your financial stability. Scammers often target seniors living alone because they assume no one else is there to notice the warning signs. That's why awareness and caution are not optional. They're critical. Psychologists often remind us that financial stability is deeply connected to peace of mind. When money feels uncertain, stress builds up, and that stress doesn't stay in your wallet. It seeps into your health, disrupts your sleep, and even reduces your desire to stay socially active. On the other hand, when your finances are steady, you naturally feel calmer, more confident, and capable of handling life's challenges. Consider Helen, an 82-year-old who took great pride in being independent. One month, she accidentally forgot to pay her utility bill, and her lights were shut off. She was embarrassed and admitted that she had been overwhelmed by piles of mail and confusing paperwork. After setting up a simple filing system and switching to automatic payments, she never had the same problem again. More importantly, she felt a new sense of relief and relaxation, knowing her finances were under control. Avoiding poor financial habits isn't just about protecting dollars and cents. It's about safeguarding your freedom, your security, and your dignity. A stable financial foundation gives you the strength to face the future with calmness and confidence, even when you're living alone. Mistake number 8, refusing to ask for help. Perhaps the most damaging mistake older adults make when living alone is believing they have to manage everything by themselves. Many people think asking for help is a sign of weakness, but the truth is refusing support often leads to unnecessary struggles and, in some cases, dangerous situations. The reality is simple: no one is meant to carry every burden alone, especially in later years when health, mobility, and even small daily tasks can become more challenging. Refusing help can cost you your safety and peace of mind. Asking for help is not about giving up independence, it's about preserving it. When you ask a neighbor to check in after a storm, or you let a family member drive you to a doctor's appointment, you're not losing freedom. In fact, you're making smart choices that allow you to live independently for longer. Accepting help creates a safety net that lets you continue living alone with confidence, security, and peace of mind. Psychologists often remind us that human beings were never meant to thrive in isolation. We are built for connection and interdependence. By allowing others to lend a hand, you not only make life safer for yourself, but you also strengthen bonds, build trust, and create a safety net that reassures everyone involved. Living alone should never mean living unsupported. Take Robert, an 84-year-old, who insisted on shoveling his own driveway every winter. One icy morning, he slipped and was left lying there for hours before help arrived. The accident was a wake-up call. Robert realized that simply asking his neighbor's teenage son to shovel the snow would have spared him pain, fear, and danger. Since then, he has stayed safer and built a warm friendship with the family down the street. Avoiding the refusal to ask for help is about choosing wisdom over pride. By leaning on others when you truly need it, you protect your health, preserve your independence, and remind yourself that real strength comes from connection, not isolation. Final thoughts. As we come to the end of this video, take a moment to reflect on the 8 mistakes we've talked about today. On their own, each one may seem small, but together they can be the difference between living alone with confidence, joy, and peace of mind, or facing unnecessary risks that slowly chip away at your independence. What stood out to you the most? Was it the reminder to make safety upgrades at home, the importance of regular health check-ins, or maybe the encouragement to stay socially connected? The truth is, living alone in later years isn't just about managing your house. It's about protecting every part of your well-being: physical, emotional, financial, and social. By avoiding these common mistakes, you give yourself the strongest chance to live with dignity, strength, and fulfillment. This journey is not only about survival, it's about thriving. Every small adjustment, whether it's clearing clutter, managing your medications, or reaching out to someone you trust, builds a stronger foundation for the life you truly deserve. Remember, wisdom comes not only from knowing what to do, but also from knowing what not to do. Call to action. Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. We'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and share one thing you learned from this video and how you plan to use it in your own life. Your stories and thoughts mean so much to us, and we read every single one. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. And don't forget to share this with someone who might benefit from it. Your support is what keeps this channel alive and allows us to keep creating meaningful content to inform, inspire, and empower. Thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.